Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey, so today I wanted to talk about this, the Artist AS72. So everything you heard in that intro was this guitar, and my bass guitar, and some drum loops by Nate Smith. That was it. All those guitar tones. So this guitar, I'm going to start by kind of discussing some of the specs, some of the things. As always with gear, I try and say who is it for, you know, at least in my opinion, and, you know, what does it do well? Like, I don't demo stuff that I don't particularly think is going to do well. So from the get-go, you know this is probably going to be a good instrument. But the first thing I always do whenever I'm testing gear is I want to try it on pro stuff, right? Because to me, if it's not going to work, then what's the point? So I took it out to a gig, and here's a little clip from that. Right, so as you can see, it worked great on that gig. You know, I could get the tones I needed. I was perfectly happy with it. And then I had a recording session yesterday, so I used it on that too, because it was ideal for it. I needed kind of clean, funky tones. And then I needed like a ripping lead tone. That sort of thing, so I'll show you a little bit of that. Now, I don't normally film sessions, partly because I don't own the music that I'm playing. It's normally that. But I thought in this instance it makes sense, you know, and usually too I just want to focus on the playing. I don't want to be thinking about cameras and guitars and all that. I just want to go, right, I'm using this, that, whatever. But, you know, thought it might help for context. So this guitar, AS72, it's obviously inspired by a cease and desist company, but it's like they're doing their own thing with it a little bit. This is kind of nice, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's sort of almost telly like T-style, whatever you want to call that, but not quite. It's got its own thing. You know what I mean? But hey, let's go through some of the specs. So, firstly, hand-wound Alnico 5 pickups. Pretty cool. It has a tremolo. The only thing I've done to this guitar, literally, it still has the strings that came on it. The only thing I've done is I took the plastic off, because it had plastic over the pickguard, as they all do, and over the back plate. And while I had the back plate off, because, you know, you take the plastic out of the screws, I just loosened up the springs a little bit. And the reason I did that is I like to set my tremolo so that it was decked hard against the guitar, so you could only push it down. I like just a hint of upward motion on it, like this much. You can see like barely anything. That way, when I do vibrato with it, which is what I do most of the time, it's pretty smooth. Then I can get a little bit of upwards as well as downwards motion. The other thing too is if you have it fully floating, then if you break a string, you're in trouble. With this, if I break a string, it's just going to sit back down on the body, and I can retune it and it'll stay. So anyway, that's all I've done. Literally just changed the screws. Just moved them out a little bit. That's it. Everything else is as it came. Same strings. So we have a quarter sawn neck. Isn't that cool? Quarter sawn roasted maple neck on an instrument of this price. You've got this nice little heel join here, so you can get into the access of the higher frets. One of the tests I always do with guitars is, can I play a C triad up here? In this case I can. So right, a C triad. If I can get that, then I know I've got good access on the guitar. So that helps with that, right? Quarter sawn maple neck, as I mentioned. Locking tuners. Right, locking tuners are awesome. I'd rather just have locking tuners on everything, especially anything with a tremolo, right? They're decent. They feel fine, no problem. It has a bone nut. You have a 14-inch radius. I'll talk about that in a moment, but that's pretty flat for a Strat type guitar, or S type, whatever you want to call it. You know what it is, right? So it's pretty flat. It's more Gibson-like than Fender-like. And it has stainless steel frets. Now this is the crazy thing. This is a 700 New Zealand dollar guitar. Stainless steel refret on a guitar would cost you $500, $600, $700 anyway, just for the frets in the guitar. So they've built this to a really good point, and the frets have been done immaculately. So I run my hand along there, nothing, right? If it was sharp at all, that would cut my hand, but it doesn't. It's like super smooth along every fret. They've really polished them up nicely. So stainless steel frets, there's no issues with bends anywhere. So you can see I can bend like crazy and no problems, right? So the frets have been done really well. It's a nice little detail. You've got a string tree here. Like I said, a humbucker, single, hand wound, volume, tone, and a 5-way blade switch. What else do you have? Just a standard input. You have a nitro finish. Isn't that cool? Nitro finish. So that's going to age in an interesting kind of way. This one here is a satin finish. So I imagine the satin finish, once your arm starts doing that for a while, is going to kind of shine up over there as it's starting to already. So that looks kind of cool, right? But it's going to age and crack in the temperature and stuff. So it's going to be kind of interesting. The neck, I'm pretty sure, is some kind of satin, probably poly finish. You kind of want that on a neck, right? It's the part where you touch the most. It's got a pretty substantial sized fretboard, and it has glow in the dark side dots, which is a nice addition. I do a lot of theatre shows, and I couldn't tell you how many times I've been sitting there in pitch black waiting to play and going, oh, I can't see the guitar at all. Well, now I can because of this glow in the dark dots, right? Awesome. It's got these, what we would call PowerShell inlays. Americans would call them abalone, or something along those lines. So it's a high spec instrument at a low cost, which I really like. I haven't really shown a lot of that stuff on my channel. Most of the stuff I've been dealing with is kind of higher end pro kind of level gear. This is a pro instrument at a very affordable price. I mean, I've used it on a recording session, I've used it on a gig, and I'd be happy to take it to either of those in the future. So let's go through a few of the tones. I'm going to start just like, this is position 4, which on a Stratocaster is one of the big ones that you're going to use a lot. So it does that great. Right, and then we'll go neck pickup. So it'll do blues kind of tones. Let's go to bridge pickup with a heap of gain. That's a whole lot of fun. Of course, you can do the next one up. I'm getting a bit of noise, but that's only because I'm sitting in front of my computer when I'm filming. It always does. So that, you know, was kind of... So that's pretty cool, right? I pretty much never use that middle pickup. You might want to. Maybe for that sort of thing I might, I don't know. But you can see it does a whole lot of stuff. Let's go, I'm going to show you bridge pickup clean. This is Run to You by Bryan Adams. Trying to get around the copyright strike, you know what I mean? YouTube. You always got to tune when you use a capo. It's just one of those things. Alright, and let's go into some classic rock territory with that bridge pickup. So yeah, you can see it does a lot of things, as you would expect from an HSS type guitar like this. It does a lot of things. It's well built, it's high spec. I think for the money, this is kind of hard to beat, right? 700 New Zealand dollars. I'll just repeat that again. 700 New Zealand dollars. Now, there's a couple of things about this guitar that I haven't mentioned yet, and things that I'll kind of delve into. So it has a mahogany body. Kind of an interesting choice. I would have thought it would. I'm pretty sure it's mahogany. I would have thought the standard is older or however you want to say that. And I was fine with HSS guitars because it's humbucker and an outer body. The humbucker always has like a mid-rangey kind of honk thing. Now it's it is what it is, right? But this guitar being mahogany, the bridge pickup sounds awesome, and the single coils to me sound just like a little bit fatter. It's probably that mahogany thing. Right, so that's kind of an interesting thing. I've never seen a HSS guitar as mahogany. The weight of this is somewhere between 7.2 and 7.5 pounds. So it's not lightweight, but it's not heavy either. I know with some cheaper made instruments they can get heavy, and especially for a mahogany body, you know, it could. So it's under the 7.5 pounds. 8 pounds for me is the maximum. Anything over that, and I'm just not interested in it. This guitar kind of reminds me of the Fender Ultra that I had, which, you know, had a lot of similar kind of specs and a flat fretboard and all that kind of stuff. A couple of things about this guitar: it comes with picks, it comes with a guitar lead, a cable to plug your guitar in. It comes with strap locks. These are strap locks, right? And look at that. And it's quite nice that this is actually quite substantial. So you could, if you forget your strap, and you can just find a strap, you can at least stick something on there and use it. But they're interesting. They're kind of got a little thingy here. Just feels solid. It ain't coming off. You know what I mean? But that's really nice to have that. Strap locks. It comes with the Allen keys. It comes with the Whammy Bar. The Whammy Bar, by the way, whoops. The Whammy Bar is a push-in type. So good. My made in Japan strap from the 90s is one of those screw-in ones that takes you about 5 minutes to put it in, 5 minutes to take it out. So the thing with this guitar is they've thought about everything. You know what I mean? They've clearly been asking some players, what do you want? Oh, we'd like the power show inlays and the glow in the dark dots and the locking tuners and all that. So it's high spec. And while I have a sample size of one, I can say the one I have is impeccably made. No fret issues, bone nut, everything. I'm not going to do anything with this guitar. I first heard of Artist Guitars via John Nathan Cordy. If you haven't checked out his channel on YouTube, do. I think he posts every day. It's pretty crazy. But I first heard of them from him. So I reached out to Artist Guitars and I was like, can I demo this on my channel? So that's kind of where this comes from. So I'll click that this is an advert, but please know that this is just my opinions. I don't take... if anyone was to tell me what to say, I wouldn't even bother doing the video. And I don't really do stuff that I think is going to be decent. And this I'm impressed with. So like I said, for 700 New Zealand dollars, you cannot beat this. I don't even know what that is in US dollars or in British pounds, but it's like nothing. You know what I mean? For what I would consider a professional level instrument, that's perfect for anybody really, but especially for beginner and intermediate players, this is a great place to start. Right. Hey, drop me a comment below. What do you think? Is this something you're interested in? Do you like HSS strats? Like, what would you do? Oh, massive thanks to Artist Guitars for sending this out. That's really cool of them. You know, I want to show more guitars on the channel, so it's great that they're doing that. Hey, like and subscribe. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.